Hello, my name is Andrei, and I'm going to show you demo. Let's name it as a demo, and it's about GloabalLogic UX UI contest, and we have selected the name black screen. I will show you a bit detailed on UI pages, but before that, in case you are watching this video and you plan to run locally application, Codebase. So before that, I should just warn about a few steps. So after clone the code, you have to npm install. It will install Node modulus. I have it locally, so I will not run, but just to show you what's the command. And after npm, and by the way, assuming you have Node.js, it's good that you have Node.js 6 and bigger versions. And yeah, it's enough. Node.js, and after npm install, you can npm start. It's about running HTTP server locally, and it will host the server and will run the application so that we can use it locally. In my case, it's running 5000 port. So yes, everything works fine, executed. So this is initial page for black screen. Just warn you before that it's not finished, it's not fully finished project, it's just application, some part of code under the term contest. So we did some UI coding. It was JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Also we did some Node.js coding, and we wanted to implement some code integrating GloabalLogic API for maps, but there is no ability and time for that. But mostly it was JavaScript, and I have to say here that we did the coding for ECMAScript 6 based, or at least we wanted to try implementing new UI features with the latest technologies. More details you can find on GitHub repository in README, or just research the code base. But get back to the demo. So here is the local host. So far so good. It's kind of fully working demo or application. We hosted this application on Heroku.com, but there are limitations because on Heroku.com we cannot set an nmap. Nmap is a command which we use to scan the network, and by definition of our contest topic, black screen means that we see the problem that many computers are switched on, are enabled, are online, where, let's be honest, not really needed them to be online, to be switched on, to take some energy. And we thought that it's would be very valuable for office director managers to at least have some kind of map, some kind of application to show which computers are enabled, so that managers could have a look and decide which computers are mostly enabled or switched on after work, which computers can be disabled. Let's say they know that those computers do not do some important work, and so on and so forth. But this application is rather very start to that direction if we think in terms of project. So this demo, this application has a few features, and I will try to show you all of them. But before that, I have to warn you that some of code is hard-coded, some of code is taking random values for to show on UI and so on. But we did that considering 2 points. We did not have much time. We spent sometimes not full working day, And second, we wanted to represent the idea, and assuming we represent the idea, people will understand it, will agree or not agree, but at least it will give the idea direction. So let's say this demo is based on GloabalLogic map. For someone you know about the map, it's a Krakow-based map, office map. It can be different, but for the demo we selected this map, and we took the code of HTML code of the map. It's mostly HTML and SVG, and we changed it a bit just to represent a map. And this is solution number one we planned to do, because we GloabalLogic developers, we think that this problem is also relevant for GloabalLogic, and if we're lucky, I mean GloabalLogic as a team, as a company, we could continue this application as a project, and we definitely, the first place where we can do it is integration with Office Map. But the idea was also for different offices. And in theory, we could try to implement some universal map and not to stick to the places, to the numbers, but it's rather not contest, it's rather fully functional project, and we did just a touch. Okay, so this demo is about to show a few features. By default, on clicking on scan network, this localhost application will generate a set of IP addresses. But this is just as the first step to this application to show how it works in general. Later on, I will show additional features with live scanning, with live using nmap command line tool. So after scan network, the JavaScript file generated me a set of IP addresses, but imagine it's a real live scan to the of the network, and you receive only a set of IP addresses of those computers which are online, which are switched on. And for the demo purpose, we split into a few features, as you see, show on map button and shoot down, just to represent an idea, and later on it can be either deleted as these UI elements or changed in different way. But let's say I receive the IP addresses of computers which are online, and I want to show it on map, and our JavaScript code takes the data of IP addresses before loading map, and trying to stick to the SVG container. And again, it's a bit hard-coded, a bit random, but the idea is, if the in our particular case, GloabalLogic map has the information about IP addresses or host names or any identification of computer or place, it can be used for us for such application. So after clicking show on map, I just show the computers on map. As you see, they are green, meaning they are online, and it's quite all about scanning network and showing, but we thought that potentially in future there might be additional feature for such application. It's shooting down those computers in remote mode. I personally know, at least on Windows operational systems, there is ability to shoot down a computer from remote, and it can be implemented. Just need to implement this feature, but I have no doubt it can be done on Unix and MacOS system. But from our perspective, it's just demo, and this is about to show it. So let's say I want to shoot down those computer. Important thing here that we realize that it might affect some privacy, some restrictions, some project related features or tasks. So we assume that the person who will be doing this kind of work is either informed that some computers with some IP addresses doing important work and must not switch it off, then we can implement some kind of restriction or ignorance of those IPs. But for the demo, we did not do such flexible code. We just implemented simple code to shoot down. So it's again, it's fake shoot down. Don't worry, nothing. No one's computer will not be shoot down. This IP address is generated randomly, so no worries. But after shooting down, those computers are for some time marked as red, which is in progress to be shut down. And after a successful shooting down, computers just disappear from mob. So just quick flow again, but just without my comments. So we scan the network. Let's say in this case we received more computers which are online. We wanted to show on map. As you see, it's showing on map in different places. Those places and IP addresses are specifically connected by JavaScript code. And let's say we want to shoot down, and we click shoot down. Yes, in future we can implement some feature like shoot down this computer by clicking or selecting context menu. You know, it depends on requirements. But again, it's a contest. It's a really live demo from localhost. It's not finished, so I just shoot down and it will in fake mode will shoot down. Okay, I will show you also back. As you see, nothing happening in my Node.js server, because as I mentioned, it's just generating random JavaScript data for our demo. But as you see, there are advanced feature checkbox, and when we enable it, we have at least 3 features. So I will show you again. Those features are kinda hard-coded for us for the demo to show the idea, but the idea here, user experience. So let's say we implement this feature as a toolkit or a library or some tool set of files and gives or send or share with other projects. And user experience here is that we provide different approaches. So as you guess, some default approaches with this scan network might be additional usability. Here we provide input fields so that end customer can provide the ID, one or multiple, comma separated, or even upload. So I will try to show you how it works. In my code, basically I'm currently in GloabalLogic network, and I have just for the demo at least 2 IP addresses. It's my computer from which I'm representing, and another my computer in GloabalLogic network. So let's say this is that one. This is computer. It's in GloabalLogic office. It's it's online. So I'll be doing live scanning. Now it's no random or fake JavaScript code, and I enable console just to show you how it works, because it goes through the GET request. It's current implementation, don't judge, it's just current implementation, and it's a GET request implemented through the Node.js routes, and in result we receive an IP address of computer. At this point, this level of code is real, because in logs for HTTP server, you can see results of nmap command. These 4 lines are results of nmap command, and as you see, it was trying to scan one computer, one IP address, and it is live. So let's say I want to scan both, or any computers which I know or I guess which might be online or offline. As you see, this IP address is returning me back. It means that from two computers I scanned, both of them are valid. Online. And back to the npm to the Node.js server, you see that it was nmap was trying to find online host, and indeed two hosts are found. But this magic, it looks like very simple, but for this magic we implemented a script. There is bash script for parsing output of nmap. So in fact, real output of nmap command, these lines, this text, this string, and we take this file, we convert by this bash script, and we convert it to a JSON format and send to the, as you might seen, we send to the GET request as a response. And as much IP addresses which will be parsed as a online with that script, as many IP addresses will be shown. Okay, maybe I will try to represent. Maybe let me try. 1, 2, 3. It's a fake. I hope it's a fake IP address, and I at least expect to have only one IP address, this one. If not, then something is bad. Okay, anyway. So yeah, so my expectation was good. From two computers, let's assume that I did not know are they online or offline. But from those two computers, the scanning script returned only one, which means this is online. And this is very essential to our contest, because the basic idea was that any computer company, any office of those company, mostly they have some database of their computers. In our particular case, in Krakow office, we have IT guys, and they have a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet file, and they trying to maintain the list of computers installed in office in Krakow. And as you see, all those computers in Krakow office located in some hard-coded hard location. And idea was that any office, ideally, in theory, any office should have information about their computers. We assumed that we can receive either a list of IP addresses or host names, because nmap works also with host names. And the idea behind this logic that any office could use our application with some tweaks in code, but assuming they have predefined list of IP addresses, they could beforehand implement either some custom map, or at least set of those IP addresses to be used as a preliminary data for scanning. So this was example about two files in input. Let's say it's one feature, but we also thought that potential nice user experience feature would be giving ability user to upload files. Let's say it's a manager who does not know particular IP addresses of any computers, but that manager can contact IT guys, and they can convert their any kind of data to the text file with comma separated format, and that manager could just simply load and scan the network. In my particular case, I just use the same IP addresses from the same file. And upload, it's simple stuff, it's not a big deal. And here is the same GET request, sending request to the Node.js server, and as you see, results are the same. So as you guess, this logic can be extended, changed, modified, simplified, especially with uploading files and IP addresses. Let's say it might be administration page, because this is kind of home page. And on administration page, IT guy, IT IP person can configure some predefined list of IP addresses. And let's say office manager can just open the application and that's it. Nothing special, no buttons, no upload. I mean, it's idea, but before the idea evolved into some project, we decided to represent all steps we had on our mind. Okay, so it's about advanced features. I hope I covered all items. What else? About this showing on the map, these computers, these two computers are a real computer. It's my computers, but the code to show the IPs on this map, it's fake, because this IP addresses has no real relation with the GloabalLogic Office map. But we did small JavaScript code just to represent the idea. So I scanned the network. I have two computers. Let's say imaginary, it's computers near VIP room. So I show it on map, and for example, I know those computers are personal people's computers and they can be switched off. So then I switch them off, and that's it. Okay, so this is all about solution number one. We also had a thought about solution number two, which is dynamic and not related to particular office map like we use for GloabalLogic, but let's say something dynamic, very dynamic, some universal, because not all offices will have such structure. And we have a few test examples of potential approaches. All of them are based on D3 graphic visualization library on JavaScript. And the very first idea was a simple idea about nested circles. So as you may guess, one circle nested in second one, it's about subnets, or just numbers of IP addresses of computers. Let's take a look on this example. I hover on this small circle, and inside of that circle there are two circles, and they represent two computers. Both of these computers are in 174.67, but they different on the level of third number. So this approach is heavily based on IP version 4 structure. There is idea how to do it for IP version 6, but it's rather not in scope of this contest. And this, for example, is single one. So this is a circle, represents one computer, which is single, and no other computers in subnet 140, and so on. So here's example of more nested computers. And the idea behind this was about to give some kind of universal approach to show the network. Let's say I will go back to our home page. Let's say as I tried to do it before, let's say I'm trying to explain potential feature, potential direction of dynamic layout. Let's say we don't have this map from GloabalLogic Office, and we just provide two IP addresses. So ideally, universal approach, universal dynamic layout should take these two IP addresses and turn into something like this. some structure, some layout, some hierarchy, some, I don't know, but different, but the same for all offices. Another approach is very similar, but it's not kind of finished, but it's interactive. So get back to our example on top. Let's say I click on this nested circle, and inside of the circle can be dozens of IP addresses, many of them. And this approach we would select for use case when we have predefined network with lot of IP addresses, and this approach would be really useful because it's dynamic and that is static with circles, because nesting of circles would be very complex. Okay, a third one, it's about tree map. It's not a big deal, but because it's almost standard for D3, but we thought that would be maybe additional approach to represent the computers in your office by IP addresses, but this is rather not very informative approach unless we may have some description of colors or grouped rectangles. Let's say these violet computers are from one client, and this blue are for computers for another client. By the way, this structure is still relevant. When we worked on this contest, we collected information about GloabalLogic office in Krakow, and IP addresses with defined numbers are really designed for dedicated projects. So I personally work on bottom line projects, so my computer ID, no matter if I connect from which network, it always assigned to this IP addresses with some sub numbers. All other projects are also based on this approach. And if we take a look to the GloabalLogic office map, this is region for bottom line. This is region also. This is another region for another project, and so on and so forth. My idea is that this approach could be really useful in that direction. Let's say the company Facebook, with their office, they have different divisions inside of company, and different divisions of different divisions have different IP addresses for their computers. So that might be useful. Maybe not, just an idea. And last one approach, it was kind of interactive, but again, it's about IP version 4 structure. As you see, it's interactive in regards to the initial load. It's just rather UI stuff, but nothing special. It's also collapsible, but it might be not very useful when you have many of IP addresses under one number. And in that case, would be really useful that very first approach with second approach with nested circles, and clicking on circle one by one to get to last one. Maybe no, maybe yes. Just as an idea, we not design it. It's just simply using D3 library, and I did some code in regards to the data structure. It's again not a big deal, but if I remember correctly, there are data. Yeah, there are data. This is very simple data format, just list of IP addresses. But and this format can be for managers. But for D3, we need kind of comprehensive structure, and to implement that dynamic approach, we had to format IP address, information about IP address into hierarchy data structure. And there is additional parser. Let's say the name of such feature, but it's rather simple code to convert simple data information about IP addresses into D3 format. Okay, what else? I think nothing else. It was all about we wanted to show. Again, this is not fully finished project. This is not even fully finished contest task because at the beginning we had many different ideas. We wanted to go with different technology for implementation. We also were thinking in different way in regards to UI, meaning use GloabalLogic Office Map or not, implement dynamic first or not. But I hope we collected some information, at least about command line tools, at least about the, by the way, Nmap difference, Nmap output is different for macOS and Windows. I mentioned at first time about parser in bash script and parser, and that parser works. It's not fully finished and not fully tested, but it worked. Initial idea it was about to work for that script in Windows-like system, but I tested on macOS and Windows, and it looks like work fine, but definitely need to test more. And the bash script and other parsers we implemented, it's definitely good experience for us to know that it's possible, because honestly before this contest I personally did not know about nmap command, and it was interesting for us to implement some JavaScript code on different levels. Let's say JavaScript for client, for the page, for the user interaction, for animation. By the way, we use materialized CSS from Google, so it's additional feature, it's additional technology we wanted to try, so we did it. And working on JavaScript level on different approaches. We also used ECMAScript 6 syntax. We also did Node.js coding. I would say we take experience for similar projects, and for the future when we have a chance to work with similar projects, we will be definitely confident, more confident in that way. And in regards to the future, to the next steps, definitely there's so much open directions. First, at least to finish this application to be distributed as a library. So it's technically possible, but need time and need resources, and it can be done. In regards to the GloabalLogic, it also can be done as an extension for GloabalLogic Office Map. I did some additional research. There is technical way to do that, but out of scope of this contest. And what else? Definitely other projects or companies can use it. And if we think in terms of GloabalLogic as a company which offers some tool, this can be also done, but it's rather very far from now. So that's it. I will stop video recording. If you have any questions, contact us as a team. You can add some comments in on GitHub. You can reach us through the email, Skype, or any other GloabalLogic standard communication tool. Okay, thanks. Bye.